Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Festool Fest, the show that celebrates Festool, Festoolians in the Festoolverse. I'm Jay, your host. For those of you who follow this show regularly, like if you're a subscriber, you already know that while we celebrate Festool and enjoy using the tools, we also have a realization that it does cost a little bit of money, and sometimes you're trying to find a good way to get a good deal and make the whole Festool experience just a little bit easier. Now, one of the things that I do to help facilitate that is, as I'm traveling around visiting different places, I'll stop by different Festool dealers and see what they may have lying in inventory. And a lot of times you may find that some of these older dealers will have things just kind of sitting around and they want to move them, so they're a little bit of a discount. Now, one of the tools that I have is this, the HL850E planer, and it is a beast of a planer, a wonderful tool. But the thing about this is that it's got these ports for dust collection. Now, if you've ever seen a planer in action, it's basically just shooting the shavings out everywhere and it's just getting all messy. Now, this one has a switch here, so you can switch from side to side this port. And you take this port off, and if you don't want to eject your shavings on the left side, you can move it around here, flick the switch, and now you can eject it on the right. But you're still ejecting the shavings onto the table and onto the floor, and you still have to clean up later. The better way is to actually connect your dust collector. Now, they say that this dust port here will work with the 27mm hose, like the one that's on my CT Midi-I. But as you can see, while it will fit in here, it doesn't really fit very well. And they say you could shove it in here and, oh, I guess it will hold, but it doesn't fit the greatest unless you jam it in there. But you do want to use it and support it while you're using it so it doesn't pull it out. Actually, that works a lot better than in the times that I've been leading up to this. But it does come up pretty easily, so it's kind of janky in that respect. Now, Festool does say that you can use their D36, this 36mm hose that has a bigger collar that will actually fit, meaning that it'll work better. Plus, the thicker diameter hose means that it will suck it faster and make it work a lot more efficiently. However, the problem with the D36 hose is that it's pretty expensive. It's almost $200 just for the hose, or like $350 if you get the whole kit that comes with the hose, as well as all the accessories, the tubes, everything that you want, so you can vacuum stuff around, and it comes in a sustainer. But that's like $350, so it's fairly pricey. So the Fine Woodworking New England event was held at Woodcraft of Manchester, which is an old school woodcraft and Festool dealer, and they're one of those places that I mentioned that has sometimes a lot of like interesting things that are Festool that you can find at a discount. And I was able to pick this up. This is the Festool AB Extractor Hose Kit. Inside this hose kit are two different hoses of two different sizes. One is a 27mm hose, the other is a 36mm hose. And I was like, hey, do you think this would work? Would you mind if we test it out and see? And Jesse was like, yeah, man, of course, let's do it. Let's open it up. Now, was originally $130. And as you can see here, was discounted for just under $65. So a really great deal. If we open up the box inside, oh, it's for the CS70. They come with the Y adapter, then the 27mm hose. So the new school connectors look like this. They've got these moldings here that are better for locking in, where these just have ribs on the inside. This, you have to take off the threading, and all you have is a raw hose. Now, if you have that with a 36 hose, there's no way to connect this to your CT extractor. What you need is to have the adapter that will look something like this. And this is the one from the current hose. Luckily, in the discount bin, Woodcraft of Manchester also had one of these, the Festool D36 DAGAS, which is the adapter to fit the 36-inch hose. And now this is the magic port that we've been looking for that hopefully will make planing so much better. It fits more snugly. Oh yeah, that's nice and tight, nice and tight. However, the only problem now is that the hose that's for this setup is really quite short. Definitely much shorter than the standard hose. We're not spending upwards of $350, so there's a little bit of compromise. But before we start using the HL850, I want to talk about shop safety. Be sure to read, follow, and understand all the safety rules that come with your power tool. Knowing how to use your power tools properly will greatly reduce the risk of personal injury. And remember this, there is no more important safety rule than to wear these safety glasses. right, well there it is. The hack that we figured out using the AB hose setup. By adding this adapter, you can get yourself a short 36mm hose to adapt to the HL850 planer, and it works pretty darn well. I mentioned at the beginning of the video, if you were to buy the 36mm hose, you could get it with a sustainer, but it's going to cost you $349. And this just comes in a cardboard box. And you know, if you're into Festool, you probably are someone like me that wants to have sustainers for everything. A strategy that you could use is to go onto Facebook Marketplace and see who's selling sustainers. While I was up at Fine Woodworking New England, I happened to find a guy online that was selling M337 Sys3 sustainer for like 20 bucks. And here it is. It's a little bit beat up. I cleaned it up a bit, and it's got a little bit of a damage here. It's like cracked here on the top. But you know what? For keeping the hose, I think this will be just fine. Hose, the 36mm hose. Ways to use Festool with more economics in mind. I hope this helps. Hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please consider subscribing. And if you have any comments, leave them down below. I'd love to know your hacks and tips and tricks for using Festool. Thanks for tuning in, and see you next time.